Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Don't forget to show your support if you find any of the content helpful by leaving a like, and consider subscribing today. So we spend all our time aim training or perhaps in-game just trying to improve, which is great, it's not a bad thing. You ever heard in sports though, keep your eye on the ball? I want to introduce a new variable to make sure that you're encompassing all aspects to continuously improve your aim. There's a reason why it's called hand-eye coordination. Aim training there is to really help you build the muscles in your hand and forearm. And of course, your eyes, but most exercises are really targets that are right in front of you. But you cannot forget the eye part of this equation. This can be improved by being in-game, but the issue with games like Apex Legends is that you're not always in a gunfight, which is why the new arena mode is really helpful, which can provide that extra practice. Later in this video, I'm going to provide a quick in-game example of how you can improve and train your eyes. Sports with fast motion like tennis, baseball, soccer, football, the list goes on. Anything that requires keeping your eye on the ball is a fantastic way to train your eyes. When in game, it's the same premise. Ever move your head quickly to the left or right and everything seems really blurred? Ever have something move so quickly it blurs past you? Your eyes can adjust and improve on tracking fast-moving targets over time. Heck, even the sports, they provide strobing glasses to some professional athletes to continuously train their eyes. Let's discuss the variables though that impact what you're seeing on screen. In the game, you can see the effect we mentioned. It is called motion blur. I recommend disabling this if you're playing FPS games. Even when you move the camera, your eyes lose focus on what is important on screen. Extra effects will really only distract. Now another variable, let's discuss the reason why pros tend to run a higher FOV. It's because one, you can see more around you, but also because you can see more, targets do not appear to be moving as quickly. With a tighter or lower FOV, you get the benefit of having targets appear larger, but because you have a low FOV, it will seem like targets are moving much faster in front of you. This is a personal choice on what you feel most comfortable with, because the con of running a high FOV is that targets do appear smaller. Now, the next question. Whenever you're aiming, do you focus on the target or the area around you? The answer after putting countless hours is really you need both. If you solely just watch the target, you're not taking in the space around you in-game and measuring the potential distance if the target moves. If you're stationary, this makes more sense from a sniping perspective to just watch the target. But keeping an eye on the area as well to help you understand the distance. This is applicable to sports. You keep your eye on the ball, but also on its area and distance from you. In a video game, you learn the distance based on what the developers have provided to you on what space is. Now this is a perfect segue into the exercise, and there are many, but this is just one to give you the introduction of really focusing and training your eyes as well to improve for first-person shooters. Now let's go into the in-game example. Right, in this example, I really want to highlight really in-game the sensation you feel whenever you have this blur, where your focus goes, and how you train your eyes. Well, the simple exercise is really pinging between two targets like this. But there's a little bit more to the exercise than just shooting back and forth like an aim trainer would, because all you're doing is focusing on just, the muscles of going back and forth. So whenever you move really quickly, your eyes are still trying to process all the information as you move across the screen. You'll have essentially a bit of a blur. You go do this in any video game. Even if you change your FOV or anything that you're doing, you'll experience a sensation where your eyes just no longer focus on the crosshair and you're kind of focused on everything around you. The challenge here is to keep your eyes focused on both the crosshair and the movement around. And you'll notice where your eyes will start to shift focus. And as you do this over in time, you'll continue to build speed and momentum. This is how you train your eyes to look back and forth. Look at the center of the crosshair and the center of the screen. When you do that, you'll notice that everything around the screen will start to blur, but you'll be able to keep a momentum back and forth as you continue to train and improve your eyes. You can do this as well. You can speed up your sensitivity, lower your sensitivity, whatever you would like to do for this exercise. But really the focus is looking at the crosshair and then looking at the space around and trying to take as much information going back and forth as humanly possible. Why is this helpful? Well, usually whenever you aim train, you're just kind of flicking between just two targets right in front of you, right? You're trying to hit just a target here. You're keeping an eye on the crosshair, but you're not really taking in the space around you. You want to be able to look at your crosshair, but take in the space, because let's say you're in a gunfight and somebody's kind of flying across from you and they fly up in the air. Well, you have to also see them, your crosshair, and the space around, which can be quite difficult to really achieve, and it doesn't really happen right away. Even if you fly up in the air and you look, your eyes are immediately mostly going to where the end result is. And the challenge to really improve where your eyes are going is continuously track to see where your crosshairs are going in the center. Train your eyes going back and forth. It's like if your camera was blurring, going in and out. You ever try to change your depth perception of looking at an object close up and then far away? It resembles that same sensation. Or like looking at your hands, if you put your hand right in front of your face, no, this is not a meme, I'm not going to push your hand towards you. It's like if you look at your hand and then say focus on the object behind your hand. Focus on your hand, focus on the object behind your hand, focus on your hand, focus on the object behind. So like do that exercise, it's the same thing. You are training your eyes to refocus. So if you're focusing on the crosshair, focus on the background, focus on the crosshair, focus on the background. You're going to constantly do this, go back and forth, and your eyes, I promise you, will continue to adjust and you'll be able to do it a lot faster over time. Initially, it's going to feel a little jarring. I mean, we do this on the daily, but you don't really think about it in terms of like aiming and practicing because it's a similar sensation that I'm describing. Look at the crosshair and look at the background, crosshair, background. And as you do this, when targets are in front of you, moving around and jiggling, your eyes will be able to train right on them as you go back and forth. Even if you're doing a simple movement of left and right pinging back and forth, focus on the crosshair movement, then focus on the background, focus on the crosshair, focus on the background, focus on the crosshair, and back and forth. That is how you train your eyes. You can do the same thing while playing tennis. Tennis is a fantastic sport like wall tennis, where you're somebody, you know, I think it's called, I forget the name of it, I apologize. Somebody in the comment section will correct me for sure. But you're playing tennis but with yourself against the wall. You know, you're hitting the ball, going back and forth. You're focusing on the ball, but also your space, where you're moving and you're existing within the room. And that's really where you're trying to continuously train your eyes. This is why the strobing effect can be so good, because the reason why like strobing glasses are helpful, and I mentioned this early in the video, is because if it's constantly flickering, you're predicting what's going to happen next. And it all comes with prediction. Your eyes are so good that naturally is that they can predict where the object's going to move next. And what's interesting about that is that you are in full control of the camera moving it, so technically your eyes are predicting as you're moving, and this movement and motion gets better over time. Now on a controller, the movement is really smooth. This is why on a lower sensitivity can be a lot better, you know, where it just kind of just moves. Well, you don't really have to really focus back and forth. Focus on this movement, especially for a mouse and keyboard, on it being quick. This is where you see that fast movement where you see like a flick back and forth. I can be a lot better with this. My consistency here should be like a spring back and forth. It's not as clean, which is why I started doing this exercise and really cleaning it up, especially as I have been exercising a lot more. I'm starting to notice you know, weight loss again, which is good. It takes a long amount of time, but the point is that my arms are definitely strengthening and I'm starting to garner a lot more speed. So I need to refine that. That's why I lowered, and then I also changed my desk. So I won't keep this video much longer. I want you guys, again, hopefully you found this helpful and was educational. Remember, train your eyes. Focus on your eyes, and I promise you, over time, you will see a difference whenever you're in game. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.